Oh no. Hi. Is it better? Is it not buffering this time? Hello, hi. Okay, good. People are filtering back in. Good. Okay. It looks better. Good. Okay, wonderful. So I figured it out. I was using OBS, which is the program I use to record my videos, and I was streaming through that into YouTube, and that was causing the buffering. So I just stopped using OBS and went directly through YouTube, which is what I should have done in the first place, because that seems to be a lot better. So, hi everyone. Finally got the show on the road. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Claire Singh, hi from Ireland. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. Is it Singh? Martha Ibarra, hello from Colorado. Wow, people from all over. It's so nice. Bia H, hi from Sweden. It's a tad bright behind me. Yeah, I've always had that issue when recording during the day, because I have no curtains on. I just have blinds on there, and they don't do enough to block the light. I have this Japanese folding screen over there. What I might do is move it behind me so there's not that much of a glare. Alicia Mazuko, hello from Idaho. Scrolling a bit fast. This is the first time I've done a live stream in a very long time. The last time I did this was a couple of years ago, before I had so many subscribers. So I'm not used to the scrolling. It's moving too fast. I'm sorry if I don't get to say hi to everybody. Kim Pulliam, hi from Maryland. Hey, guess what? I grew up in Maryland, Frederick, Maryland. Or, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Frederick, Maryland. No, Mount Airy, Maryland. On the outskirts of Frederick. And I lived on a horse farm with my mother, stepfather, sister, and brothers. And it was a very rural area that I lived in. Holly Cunningham, hi Daniel, hello from Idaho. Marisol Bod, hello from Norway. Wow, people from all over. That's amazing. I used to live in Frederick, Maryland. Lauru M. Frederick, Maryland. Yeah. I mean, I was a kid. I lived there between the ages of 5 and 11, so I barely remember it. I mean, I do remember it, but mostly what I remember is school, home, and the Francis Scott Key Mall, which I think isn't even there anymore. Hi from Canada, hi from Finland, hi from UK, hi from Estonia. Wow. That is amazing. I love hearing from people from so many different places. That's fantastic. I tell you what I'm going to do, just to cut down on the glare, because I know it's annoying people. I'm going to move that Japanese folding screen. I'll be right back. Hold on. Just going to set this up behind. This should. Oh God, that actually makes it worse. How do I? Okay, there we go. Is that better? That looks better. Wow, that looks a lot better. I should have been doing this from the start. Okay, so hi to everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. So I just wanted to reach out to my community and get to know some of you guys a bit better, and you guys can ask me questions and get to know me a little bit better. Not really sure where to start, so I guess I'll let you guys start. If somebody wants to ask me a question, if somebody has anything in particular that they've been meaning to say to me, go for it. Booker K, how tall are you, Daniel? 6'2". I'm very tall and I'm very skinny. My original weight before chemotherapy was 180. And then I dropped significantly down during chemo. And then what with like recovering from surgery and everything else, I dropped down to like 140, I want to say 148 was the lowest. And then, but now I seem to be hovering around the mid 160s. I think I'm on 165. So I'm a tall, skinny guy. Denise Bohar, where do you live? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell you that. Diane Keating, do you have a girlfriend? So actually, I have meaning to address this. Some of you may know she has appeared on the channel a couple of times. Her name is Maria, and we were dating for about a year, and we split up about a year ago. We just didn't work as a couple. We're still friends. We still like each other. We just couldn't really make it work on a romantic level. So we haven't been together for about a year now, over a year now. But no hard feelings are between us. We recognized sort of objectively that it wasn't gonna work out going that route. So we're just friends now. Scarlet Rose, what color is your hair? So I wish I had the ability to show you as a picture. Actually, let me bring it up on my phone. So I had this done back in October, and I'm actually surprised that my hair color remained as long as it has. But it's, here we go. It used to be that. And so it was the purple up here, red, and then orange, and the tips were yellow. So my intention was to make it look sort of like a sunrise. And of course, it's since faded, and my more natural hair color is coming in. I'm going to be dyeing it again soon, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but it's going to be very different, and I look forward to seeing how that comes out. I'm actually going to be doing that in a couple of weeks. Brenda Lacey, what's your cat's name? I have two cats. One is Maja, Madja, and I believe it is Arabic for glorious or honorable, and Pazuzu. And I named her after the demon that possesses Reagan in The Exorcist because she's a little demon cat. Hold on, I gotta scroll back up. Jeannie Calello, did you ever drink alcohol? Yeah, not big into it. Beer occasionally. I don't like hard liquor. I can't really drink because my liver is shot. I mean, that's what's failing. That is ultimately what's killing me, is that my liver is failing and they can't do anything about it. So I have to stay away from alcohol. Who is Matt? Matt is my best friend. He has been on the channel a few times. We've played video games on the channel a few times. He's been such a huge support these past few years while I'm going through this. Olivia and the Kitties, I would hope to read your horror stories when published. When the contracts are signed and I'm allowed to say more, I'll tell you where to look for them. Nathan Cat, what's the insurance system like in the US? Are you being looked after? Here in the UK, we have free healthcare. Yeah, I know. I've been told. I have a couple of UK friends that I keep in touch with regularly. I mean, they have their own complaints about the NHS, but it still seems like, US system of screw you, you're on your own, isn't working out too great. And I have quite a lot of medical debt. The good news is when I die, that medical debt does not transfer to my next of kin. It does create a bit of a problem while I'm alive, though. Brenda Lacey, this sounds morbid, but do you have anyone to take your cats? Yes, I've already figured that out. Matt is going to take Maja. I have another friend, Ryan, who actually took the pictures of my Halloween costume, and he's going to take Pazuzu. I decided to split them up because they actually don't like each other very much, which is a shame because I got Pazuzu as a friend for Maja, and it didn't work out that way. L, what was your eating habits until getting cancer? Not great, I can tell you that. I don't think that's what the cause was. As a matter of fact, the oncologist also does not believe that my eating habits led to me getting cancer. They did a DNA test, and it's actually a part of my DNA. So it was just sort of like a matter of time. Unfortunately, because it's a part of my DNA, they cannot attack it on a genetic level, which was their original intent. If they did that, it would actually kind of attack my DNA. So that is unfortunately off the table. It would have been incredibly effective if that had been the case, but no. For the record, this is ginger ale, in case anybody thinks this is beer or something. Snazzy Box, what is your favorite band / music? Love that question, because I love so many different types of music, I don't even know where to begin. And I discussed this in a previous video with my father, because growing up, he never told me that I couldn't listen to the kind of music I listened to. And back then I was pretty rebellious. This would be like my teen years, and I was listening to Korn and Marilyn Manson and Nirvana and Soundgarden. I still love those bands. He strongly disapproved, but he didn't say you can't listen to that. Instead, he introduced me to as many different types of music as he possibly could, and my musical taste broadened. And I love that he opened up so many different doors for me that I didn't feel funneled into one method, one genre, one means of self-expression. Now I have all of these different means of self-expression available to me. So, like, I love really hard metal, but I also love opera, classical, a little bit of country, some hip hop, techno, R&B. I mean, the list goes on. I could, and I might do this, I could make a video where I just list off bands that I love. That would last like 20 minutes. Wanda Katz, how do you stay positive? I have positive things in my life. And the positive things in my life help remind me that that even in my darkest hour, I have that light to carry with me. And I think it's important to remember. I have positive people. I have you guys, I have my job that I love very much, and I have my writing that I love very much. And so it's like, I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying I don't have bad days, because I absolutely do. But I try very hard to hold on to the positive in my life and recognize that it's there and not ignore it. And I think that's important for everyone to do. Denise Bohar, have you decided what to do with your treatment? So actually, after I posted video, I did get a call from my oncologist, and we discussed it. And we're going to hold off on infusion. I got too freaked out, and he said he understands. I expected him to try to change my mind. He didn't do that. And I actually kind of appreciate that. But that they'll keep it kind of on reserve as a backup plan. The pills I'm taking now, forgive me for butchering this word, capecitabine, has been helping. It has been helping. He listed off some numbers where, like, they took blood tests and they said that like certain numbers were elevated, which is a good thing. And it implies that it is helping. So we're going to stay with that for now. And then possibly later on down the line, infusion if necessary, if the capecitabine does not continue to help on its own. So I would infusion with the capecitabine in tandem, but only if necessary. So for now, I'm not doing the infusions, and I am completely okay with that. Alicia Mazo, do you have liver cancer? I actually have colon cancer, but it was stage 4, and so it moved to my liver. When I had surgery in 2019, August of 2019, they cut the section of colon that had the tumor in it out. So I don't have that anymore. And they scooped out a lot of the tumors in my liver. And it seemed like it was taken care of. But then last September, I discovered that it came back hard, came back very aggressively in the liver. So technically it's colon cancer, but it's my liver that's failing. So Cursia, sorry. Will a liver transplant help you? No. Like I said before, it's genetic, and also there's this sort of cancerous soup in my body, if you want to think of it that way. They could put a new liver in me and it would just get more cancer. So they're not going to do that. Anne Charlotte Svensson, do you have any children? No, I do not. Never got married, never had any children, and in a way, kind of glad for that, because it feels like if I had to say goodbye to that, that would be especially hard, and especially like to leave a family in that kind of, like, a financial burden, first of all. That would be awful. So Kadri Fatra, Daniel, which movies and series do you love? Oh boy, I'm a big Marvel nerd. You can't see it, as a matter of fact. I can turn this around really quick in case any of you were wondering what. Sure, it's this. And also Wonder Woman and Freddy Krueger, because I got Robert Englund's autograph. I am a huge fan of Marvel movies. I'm a huge fan of superheroes. I also love sci-fi, fantasy. Not big on comedies. It kind of depends on the type of comedy. I don't really like rom-coms. Dramas, it really depends. Horror, absolutely love horror. TV shows. Lately, I've been watching some anime shows. Dr. Stone is really good. So I'm a Spider, so what? There's some other good ones out there. My Hero Academia. I love old shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm trying to think about the stuff that I like. I don't know. For new stuff, I really like Devs. Devs was intense. I loved it. That was a great show. I had been watching The Flash and Supergirl and those CW superhero shows. Look, kind of like I got busy and I couldn't keep up with them, and now I'm way behind and I probably won't catch up. I do like them though. They're good. Plague on Words. What is your favorite horror film? Have any inspired you short stories? My favorite horror film. Hard to pick, because I like a lot of different genres of horror. First one pops into my head is the 1980s version of The Thing. So intense, and the special effects really hold up. Very, very awesome practical effects. I also like supernatural stuff. The Ring is a great one. I love The Ring. Actually, yeah, The Ring did influence me to write a story not similar at all. Just there was a couple of elements from that I thought, hey, I could turn this into a story. I'm trying to think of some other horror ones. I really like more recent ones like Hereditary. Hereditary scarred me psychologically. It kept me up at night. And it's been a long time since a horror movie was able to do that. So if you haven't seen Hereditary, be forewarned, it'll wreck you. It goes places. I still think it's very good. Midsommar, very, very good. The Witch, It Follows, very good. I really liked the Peele movies, Get Out and Us. Those are very good. Snazzy Box, Alien. Yeah, Alien, very much. That is a horror movie. It's very good. Aliens, the sequel, more of an action movie than a horror, but I still love it. I still think it's fantastic. Vicky Summer, The Fourth Kind scared the crap out of me. Is that the one with Mila Jovovich? I haven't seen that one. I might check that out. Rhonda Adams, hi Daniel. Do you believe in the afterlife and what are your thoughts on it? Much love from Canada, Ontario. Do I believe in an afterlife? No. I grew up Christian. My father was Christian and would take me to church, and I sort of followed suit, and I did for many years. And really, I think I was just sort of doing it because he did it. Oh, there's a kitty. I've got a cat tree right next to my computer chair. This is Maja, by the way. Hi, baby. How you doing? So yeah, I grew up Christian, but I really kind of feel like I was just sort of doing it because he was doing it. I don't know how closely I believed. I tried to make myself believe because I thought that was the right thing to do, the good thing to do. But I couldn't stick with it. And by the time I reached my late teens, I left the church. I didn't go back. And I actually felt really guilty about that for a long time until I just sort of, I don't know, I just sort of like grew apart from the guilt. And the way I feel about it now is I am completely open to the possibility of the supernatural. And it would be great if there's a higher power. I would love that. That would be comforting. But there's nothing in my life, nothing I've experienced that suggests to me that it's real. So I can't say that it doesn't exist, but I also can't say that I believe. And when it comes to the supernatural, once you open that door to the possibility of the supernatural existing, anything is possible. But if anything is possible, that means everything is equally plausible. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, all of it. There's nothing that sets anything above the others, and the only thing that would set any one thing above the rest is evidence. And so far, nobody's come forward with any that is compelling enough to get me to believe, and so I don't. If there is a higher power, I hope they take mercy on me for that fact. I am approaching the situation analytically, not maliciously. I don't really consider myself an atheist. Atheists tend to be pretty, like, screw your beliefs, and I'm not like that. I respect people's beliefs, and I'm open to the possibility of them being true. I just don't believe. Oh yeah, I saw somebody say that I am from Nebraska. I'm from a lot of places. I was born in Virginia. I lived in Maryland until I was 11. with my mom and stepdad. I mentioned on the horse farm. I moved in with my father in Bellevue, Nebraska when I was 11. It was just determined that that would be a better move. I was having difficulty at school and at home. And it was just determined that they asked me, like, where would you rather live? And I said, I'd rather live with my dad. And so I moved in with him in Nebraska. This would be Bellevue, Nebraska, outside of Omaha. And I lived there until, I lived in that area until I was 24. And then I moved to where I am now. I'll go ahead and say I'm in New York State. I don't want to narrow it down much further than that. Sorry, I'm just reading through a bunch of them. I'm trying to give everyone a chance to. I live in Papillion, Nebraska. Hey, yes. Yeah, actually, I lived near Papillion. I lived in La Vista for a while. We kind of moved around a little bit. Like, we were in Bellevue until I graduated high school, and then my dad got a house in La Vista. Actually, so I guess we didn't move around that much. We only lived in those two places, Bellevue and La Vista. I loved Omaha for a time, at least. I've heard it's changed quite a lot since I moved. I moved in 2002. So it's been a very long time since I've been to Nebraska. I remember, like, I really loved the Old Market District. I loved the Henry Dorley Zoo, huge zoo. The Lead Jungle was great. I remember when that opened, actually. And just the different points of interest. It was a fun place. There was always something to do. Well, a lot of people think that Nebraska is very boring. And yeah, once you get past Omaha, it turns into nothing but cornfields. But the Omaha area is great. Snow White, do you have any more things you want to do or accomplish? Yeah, it's kind of difficult, though. What with COVID, like, what timing, right? Like, to be terminally ill during a time when I can't go and mark things off of my bucket list, right? My dad and I were planning a trip to Europe. Can't do that now. Who knows? Maybe if enough of the world gets immunized, then and they start opening up borders again. But that really depends on, like, they would have to do it very, very soon because I don't have a whole lot of time left. Other things that I would want to do. There are some celebrities that I wouldn't like. I wouldn't be able to meet in person, but maybe like a Zoom call, that'd be great. I would love to talk to Patrick Stewart. I would love to talk to Dan Avidan. He's the lead singer of a band called Ninja Sex Party. They're a comedy duo. He's a very funny guy. And I really, oh man, I would love to talk to that guy. Other celebrities. I've met celebrities that that I had really wanted to meet, and then I finally got to within the past few years. There's a metal singer named OTEP. It's OTEP. Very hardcore, very loud screaming metal. I love her, and I got to see her in concert, and I sprung for the VIP ticket, so I got to meet her ahead of the show, and she was great. She was so much fun to talk to. And this was a year after my chemo, and I actually got a tattoo right here. You will know me by the scars I bear, and I don't think it's going to show up, but this is where my chemo port used to be, and there's a scar. I got that tattoo I think while I was still undergoing chemo, or maybe it was a little bit after. I can't remember exactly, but it was sort of like, it's symbolic. And those are song lyrics. One of her songs called Ghost Flowers. It's my favorite song of hers. And that line stands out to me as very appropriate for my situation. And I got to show her that tattoo, and it's funny because it's like as I was getting that tattoo, I was thinking in my head, God, wouldn't it be amazing if I could show this to her? And then a year later, and I was doing exactly that, and and she looked at that and she was like, "Yeah, man, they will know us." It was so great. And then at the end of the meet and greet, she shook my hand and she was like, "You are the strongest man in this room." And I was like, "Wow, my hero thinks I'm strong." That's amazing. Heather King, I've seen OTEP once. She's awesome, right? She's got so much power behind her voice. Oh man. Daniel, what do you do when you get super low and sad? Recommendations? Oh, when I get super low and sad, I do nothing. I get super lazy. I sit around and just sort of like veg, and it's really hard to get me to do anything. Recommendations? I don't have any. I'm sorry. For me, I just kind of have to wait it out. I have to let it pass. I don't. Dumber girl, gotta run, Daniel. I'll catch you later. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome, and thank you so much for attending. Emma199, GoFundMe. Yeah, I did have a GoFundMe. I mean, technically, I still do. I never turned it off or anything. I mean, at this point, like I started the GoFundMe to help pay for treatments that I thought were going to save my life. Now that nothing is going to do that, it seems really kind of pointless. So I don't think I'm not going to do that. I think I would rather just people save their money and, I'm not suffering. I'm not poor. Well, I'm poor. I am not so poor as that it is that I feel the need to ask people for money. So, Hannah Kin, I knew a woman that was told she had terminal cancer, uterine cancer, and upon discovery, she already had mets in her lungs and other organs. The doctors didn't want to treat her except for palliative. I'm sorry to hear that. Drush Marush, there isn't enough ethnic diversity in Nebraska. Really? It probably changed a lot over the years. Last time I was there was 2002. It felt pretty multicultural. There was a Spanish radio station. I don't know if there still is. UNO had a lot of international students. I was a part of a club called the Friends of Japan. I was taking a Japanese class at the time, and they paired us with Japanese foreign exchange students. We could help each other, learn the language. It felt multicultural, but I'm a white guy, so maybe I'm not seeing what other people are seeing. Wanda Katz, what is your job? I work for a group home for the disabled. I basically provide basic care. Be helping them get up in the morning, shower, shave, if they need that, brush their teeth, get dressed. Some need more assistance than others. I assist them at breakfast, at all meal times. I help them with toileting needs. I help them with, they have goals listed in their ISP, individual service plan. And play games, take them on outings. Not now, obviously, because of COVID, but there was a time when we would go out on outings a lot. I worked for the past, the first 5 years that I worked for this, agency, I worked in a group home that had a lot of middle to high functioning individuals, mentally, but had a lot of physical needs. And I really enjoyed that. I got moved to a house where they're lower functioning. There's only really one individual in the house that can carry on a conversation. And he's got traumatic brain injury and forgets things a lot, and just has difficulty with cognitive skills. But he's really the only one that's verbal, and that's a bit more relaxed. And I kind of appreciate that because I'm tired like all the time. So I don't think I'd be able to keep up the pace in my old home. So this home that I'm in now, it's kind of just better for me. But I love my job. I can't find job satisfaction like that anywhere else in the world. Sorry, I'm just kind of skimming through here. Sarah, the psychology teacher. My brother is disabled, learning disabled, and needs a lot of support. So I'm grateful for people like you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, before I worked for the company I work for now, I worked at a school for the disabled, and I was a TA for about 4 years. And that was a bit more difficult because they were like physically, they weren't that, they didn't have a lot of physical disabilities. It was mostly mental. And that can be very challenging. A lot of challenging behavior. These were, and they could get kind of aggressive. Rewarding, but very difficult. What else? Kadrivatra, Daniel, have you got any great travel memories or dream of going somewhere? I would love to go to Japan, places in Europe, Machu Picchu. Unlikely to happen, unfortunately. Places I have gone. I went to Germany when I was 7. So I do have some memories of that. Not clear ones, but, I did like it. We took a paddle boat ride up the Rhine River. We stopped off at places to look at ruined German castles. And we went to the zoo. We went to Wiesbaden, Stuttgart. I'm trying to remember what else we did. I remember taking a cable car up to like halfway up a mountain, and there was a swimming pool, public swimming pool, and the view was pretty impressive. And I was kind of scared of heights at the time, but I was still really impressed, with the view. I haven't really traveled that much in my life, which is a shame. Like looking back, I should have spent more money on experiences rather than on stuff. And if you're looking for some life advice, there you go. Just save up, spend your money on an experience. Memories, I think, matter more than things, than objects that you can put in a room and just look at from time to time. Like I have pretty neat stuff in my apartment, but I think I'd trade it all for, some of those once in a lifetime opportunities to go amazing places and build some amazing memories. Melissa Joy, my mom is dying of renal failure. I'm so sorry. And while she is still here in body, she is gone. You give me much hope. I no longer have the chance of hearing her knock on my door or calling me on the phone. You're the best. That must be so hard. I'm so sorry. My grandmother suffered from Alzheimer's before she died, and it was really difficult just watching her slip away until the end. So I kind of know what you're going through, that realization that they're just not going to be able to be there. And And you never really know when it's coming. And then it happens. You never know when the last time somebody's going to knock on your door is going to be. You never know the last time that they're going to call you or you're going to call them. The last time you say their name. The last time they say your name to you. So I think that's another bit of life advice. Don't take any of that for granted, no matter what it is. Even if it's something small, it's not. Like I'm stealing a line. I'm stealing a line from the movie The Crow, which is a great movie, by the way. Nothing's trivial. Rebecca Carty, fun question. What's your favorite type of pasta? Huh. That's a good question. For a long time, I really, really liked lasagna. Not so much anymore, just because it's so hard to make, and the pre-bought or the pre-made stuff that you take home and bake in the oven doesn't taste nearly as good. I'm pretty good at just like throwing stuff together. Like I have macaroni that I'll boil, and then I'll mix that with some tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, some seasoning that I add. Sometimes I'll chop up and cook some chicken, cube some chicken and mix that in too. Or maybe I'll do spaghetti that way. But generally speaking, pasta wise, like I love pizza. I know that's not really pasta, but I love pizza. Emma199, is there anyone you feel the need to make amends with? Yeah, actually, there are a few people I've been trying to get in touch with, people from my past that we just sort of drifted apart, and not so much make amends as seek some closure. I mostly just people that I don't feel right about how we left things, so I kind of want to just say my piece. I'll do that privately if I get a hold of them, and mostly just sort of like, I don't know, just sort of like, we good? We're good. There are some people that unfortunately bridges are burnt that I don't think will ever get rebuilt, and so I just sort of have to accept that and move on, and that's okay. Tick Spring, have you felt a day you felt emotionally fine since hearing the time left? Is your outlook on that changing? In a weird way, it sort of crept up on me. It like there was never an official moment. Certainly I was devastated when I found out my cancer came back and that it was aggressive. And I thought to myself, oh God, we're going to go through more chemo and it's going to be awful. And I hated chemo so much. It was so awful. It was the worst thing I had to endure. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would not wish chemotherapy on the worst human being in the world. It is awful. And then I had a consultation with a liver doctor, and he seemed kind of grim. And I was like, oh, is this a get your affairs in order kind of situation? He said, I think that would be best. So there was that, but it didn't feel like an official, you're going to die. And then talking to the oncologist and the different treatment options, and the things that we kept talking about were keeping the disease at bay. There's nothing they can do to really make it stop, make it go away entirely, just like to prevent it from getting worse. However, and I kind of put this together in my head, the liver is failing. And the only way the liver doctor said, the only way the liver is going to stop failing is if the cancer isn't there anymore. But if the treatment prevents it from getting any worse. It's not making it go away. So in my head, I put two and two together. So I just sort of like prepared myself for that in a way, and I got used to it. And so when the day came that the oncologist gave me 6 months to a year, I was pretty well prepared for that. And like, obviously I'm not happy about it, but I'm not as devastated by that news as I think I would have been had it just come out of left field. If it just, surprise, Daniel, you're not going to be alive next year. My outlook hasn't really changed. And like I said, I have good days and I have bad days. But lived, and my best to, stiff upper lip, that kind of thing. It doesn't wear me down nearly as much as you might think, and sometimes that surprises even me. I don't know. It's like I can't sit around and mope. I can't just sit down and cry, why is me, or woe is me. I can't, I'm not going to shake my fist at the sky. Why, God, have you done this to me? Like, I got shit to do. I have a life to live, whatever life I have left, What is the story behind the masks? They are lovely. Yeah, so I've always had a fondness for masks. And I have quite a few. These are just the ones that I have on display. And I actually had a larger collection, but some of them got like lost or destroyed over the years, which is a shame because I have like some really good ones. As a matter of fact, I have a couple in my hallway hung up, and I just wanted to show you this really quick because I think you'll love this. One of these days, maybe I'll do an apartment tour when it's not a pigsty. Really let the place get a little messy. Two of these, one is white and this one's red, and they are very high quality, and I love them. And there's padded foam on the inside, and then the strap. Yeah, I'm not going to put it on, but I absolutely love these, and so I have these hung up in my hallway. There's no real story behind the masks. I just really like masks. I just think they're cool, and I know that someone previously asked this question. I'm sorry, I noticed it, but I didn't get to it. Asked about my Halloween costume. I don't know if you guys saw that video. I dressed up as a vampire, and I wore a very, very high quality silicone mask. It was very expensive. It was a splurge. Like I felt like getting something crazy and expensive, and I had my eye on that mask for years, and I was finally, oh, there's a Pazuzu. Hi, Pazuzu. And I finally was able to afford it. I think at the time I had some bonus through work or something. And so, nope, you don't try to climb on that. No. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna buy it. And I did, and I love it. And frustratingly, I had intended on wearing it that Halloween, but that was the Halloween after I underwent surgery, and what was supposed to be a 4 to 6 week recovery time stretched to 3 months. And so I was still recovering from surgery that year, that Halloween, and it ruined Halloween for me. And so I was like, oh, great, now I have to wait until next year. Next year rolls around, and COVID. And so Halloween was ruined yet again. And so the best we were able to do was take pictures of me wearing the mask and in the, like, with the top hat and the cane and the long coat with the buttons and the vest and all that. And like I wanted to go out to like a party or something wearing that, and I thought that would have been so awesome. And then I thought, all right, well, next Halloween maybe. And now it seems likely that I won't be around for next Halloween. So it sucks, but that's the way it is. That costume was amazing. Thank you, Muppets and Manilow. That's an awesome name. I love both of those. I love the Muppets and I love Manilow. Good singer. Yes, I love that costume. Thank you very much. Natalie Quillette, who's your celebrity crush? I have a few. For the longest time, I had a huge crush on Bjork. Don't judge me. She's gorgeous and so creative, and like creative in that bizarre, imaginative way that I just that I'm just attracted to. And like, yeah, she's kind of crazy, but it's my kind of crazy. Otep, I have a crush on Otep. I'm trying to think of who else I have a crush on. Would it be inappropriate to say Billie Eilish? She's very young. She is way too young for me. I adore her music, though. God, her music is amazing. Her voice, it's like chocolate in my ears. Like, yeah, I'm attracted to Scarlett Johansson. She's a very attractive woman. Angelina Jolie, part of the superficial attraction. When it comes to like the people I really develop a crush on, it's because I know enough about their personality that it draws me to them. Attraction for me, it's 50-50, you know. Like, sure, the physical, which I think that's natural. But then, hey, do not claw my Japanese screen. But then there has to be more besides. Some, like their personality, their some level of like creativity or passion. That matters a lot to me. Pete Bottom Poochies. Hey, I remember you. Do you sing? You have a rich voice. I do sing. I'm not going to do it now. My voice has been kind of rough lately. I have found that if I do try to sing, I end up coughing, just because I have issues with that lately. It's my cancer cough. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to sing in a while. I might on the channel sing something if I can record without hacking up along. I've been told that I have a good singing voice. I have also been told that I get wildly off key. It really depends on the song. And I never really figured out how to find my key, my register. I suppose with training, you know, I might get good at it, but I don't know, I never sought it out. Gabby Byzantine, Adrian Brody would be the ideal actor to portray your life. I mean, I agree, but he's a little bit too old now. Maybe him from about 10, 15 years ago, you know, but sure. No, wow, that is actually, damn, that's a really good choice. Thank you. Your voice would be good for audiobooks release. Yeah, I have been told that a lot, and I would absolutely love to do that. Maybe someday I'll record myself reading something for the channel. I can't read any of my stories. As per the as yet unsigned contract I mentioned in my previous video, in regards to my short stories getting published, they would retain sole rights to audio reproduction of my work. which means no other audio production of it can exist. So if I want to get that contract, I can't produce anything like that. I can't read it aloud on my channel or anywhere else. Sorry. The good news is you will most likely be able to listen to my stories for free. Buying them, of course, you'd have to spend money. But there are some public domain stories that I think I would legally be allowed to read on the channel. I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, who, if you don't know, is a short horror author that I have a lot of respect for. Well, in his writing, at least. He was apparently quite a racist. So Lovecraft fans tend to, like separate art from artist when it comes to that. So, but his stories are fantastic, and maybe I could read one of them on the channel sometime. Kathy Song, who was your role model as a child / growing up? Patrick Stewart, playing the role of Captain Picard on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Bastian from The Never-Ending Story. Good question as to the rest. Certainly my father. I don't know why my head went to celebrities first. My father was a huge influence, a huge role model. When I moved in with him at the age of 11, I didn't see it right away, but the man put so much into suddenly being a full-time parent, a single parent. And that was after, like, me and my sister, his daughter, living with our mother, primarily, until then. He didn't have the experience of full-time parenthood. And then, he was 38 when I showed up at his door. And thinking back to when I was 38, if somebody had dropped off an 11-year-old boy at my door, I would have no idea what to do. So the fact that he did as good a job as he did, yeah, that's amazing. And he did a lot of, excuse me, he did a lot of good in raising me. And so he was a huge role model for me, huge influence. Rhonda Adams, are you close to your family? Are they helping you get through all? Yeah, I mean, they're physically spread out. My father lives pretty far down south of me. My mother too. Within driving distance, there's my grandfather and my aunt. Actually, a few of my aunts. We stay in touch for the most part. They've offered to help me out a bit. And I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate them. It's difficult finding, I guess, like time and covering that distance, but they are there, and I know that they are there for me when I need it. So I appreciate that. Kirstia Falcor, yeah, the luck dragon from the Neverending Story. Actually, I always wanted to get a dog, and I always wanted to name it Falcor. Unfortunately, I just don't live the kind of life that makes room for a dog. I have cats because cats are easy. Dogs require a lot of energy, a lot of attention, and I just can't do that. Angie M, do you have a bucket list? Yeah, like I said, because of COVID, it kind of kills a lot of what I would want to do, places I would want to go, things I would want to do. If that situation changes, absolutely, there are places I would love to travel to. But as it stands, I'm going to have to concentrate on the things that I can do locally. And that's problematic because there's not a whole lot I can do locally. I like the thought of a celebrity Zoom call. If I could get in touch with some celebrities and talk to them over the internet, that'd be great. I like the idea of. I mean, I think I achieved the big one with this upcoming contract with the podcast that's going to record my stories, and then later compile those into a book. That was a big one for me, to make sure that my short horror stories don't just disappear. Jilly B, any word on you being offered the COVID vaccine too? I've had it, actually. I got both shots January and February, early February. I had to because of my work, because I work with the disabled. So as soon as it was available, I was put on the priority list. And so I was able to get it. Kicked my butt. The side effects are not fun. It makes you feel very sick, but it only lasts a couple of days. Deputy Daniel is having a liver transplant option for you. I mentioned earlier, no, it's not, unfortunately. They could give me a nice clean new liver, but it would just get cancer again. And it would be just as aggressive as before. It would not buy me any significant amount of time. And the risks associated with that kind of a surgery are just too great. Like, they already did a number on me when they cut me open to remove the tumor from my colon and the tumors from my liver. And that took 3 months of recovery. I became septicemic. I almost died. They had to plug a couple of drains into me to get the fluid out of my liver. I had a couple of infected abscesses inside my liver, so they had to drain that. And yeah, it was a mess. It was a nightmare. And so they are not willing to take that risk with another surgery that would only buy me a little bit of time. So. What was it? Oh, Manko1642, have you made a decision about having chemo again yet? Well, first of all, what they were offering me was not chemo. It was a protein. And originally it was called, shoot, I can't remember what it was called, but they did try it. And it didn't go well. I had an immediate allergic reaction. They had to unplug me, and they couldn't do it again. Like, I was within seconds of them starting to put it inside me, I was throwing up. This more recent attempt, the thing that they offered to me more recently, it's called, oh, man, Penmubitab. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. That one is very similar to the protein that they tried to give me before. However, it is missing the thing in it that most people are allergic to. But as I stated in a recent video, there were a lot of scary side effects possible. And I had to weigh the benefits, which would be a possible extension of my life, against the negatives, which would be really bad side effects and possibly death. And since the whole purpose of this is to improve my quality of life and give me a little bit of extra time, it sounds like with these possible side effects, it would do the opposite. And so ultimately I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. As you read us, the very bad effects. Yeah, very bad. That was fun. funny to me, Joanne Gull it was very funny to me how often very bad showed up. It was like, these side effects are very bad. You will have very bad side effects. This side effect is very bad. It was, I don't know. It was just like that choice of words. It just seemed funny in a weird way. 199, did you have any symptoms before you were diagnosed with colon cancer? Yes, I did. I had pain in my abdomen, which was originally misdiagnosed as diverticulitis. And they gave me something for the pain, and the pain went away. And I just didn't think anything of it until 6 months later when the pain returned. And I went to a different doctor, and that doctor was like, let's do an ultrasound. And they found what looked like, they called it lesions on my liver. And so they scheduled a CT scan, and it revealed that I had colon cancer. Sarah Num. Hold on, it's scrolling. Let me try to, there we go. I finally found a person that enjoys dressing up for Halloween, my daughter's favorite holiday. She is 33. Her favorite thing to do is go to Comic-Con. She's always Xena. I will never tell her to grow up again. Oh. Yeah, Xena is a great choice. I love Xena. That was a great show. I liked it better than Hercules, actually. And yeah, I always support people who do that, who go to conventions and do the cosplay thing. I've done that a couple of times. Nothing elaborate. I was Vincent from the Cowboy Bebop movie. You can look him up. All he wears is a long black coat and a witch's hat, and he has long hair and a beard. And so, like, I sort of just fit that. And that was popular at the time that I went, which I think was like 2006. It was Anime Boston. Or 2005? Might have been 2005. Anyway, Snazzy Box, if you were reborn as an animal, which one would you be and why? I would want to be something very different. A whale would be really interesting. Or a dolphin. Something that swims, or something that flies. Like an eagle, a hawk, an owl, a crow. Crows are awesome. Crows are so smart. Do you know they can talk? I did not know that for the longest time. I did not know that you can train them to speak like a parrot. But yeah, something that's different, something that's not necessarily land-based would be really interesting to me. John E. Walker, when did you become interested in the horror genre? Oh, this is an interesting story. When I was a kid, I was an absolute coward. And horror movies terrified me. I could not enjoy them. And like, obviously as a kid, like I didn't see a lot of them, but I did see advertisements for them. Scary. I also had a babysitter who was pretty awful, and she would watch things in front of me that she absolutely should not have watched in front of me. There's this really awful Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff called Pieces. I believe it's Italian produced. It's in English, and it's terrible. Like many years later, I saw it again, and it's just like, it's very low budget. It's garbage. But she watched that in front of me when I was a kid, probably like 7. And so I'm watching this guy with a chainsaw rip women into pieces, and it really messed me up. I was probably about 10 years old at the time. Funny story. That Christmas, I asked for a Cabbage Patch doll. And my parents, my mother and stepfather, were like, no, dolls are for girls. But I really wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. And so they compromised, and they bought me a My Buddy doll. And if you don't know what a My Buddy doll looks like, that's what Chucky was based on. When they made the movie Child's Play, they based his design on the My Buddy, which looks like, hold on, which looks like that. So Christmas morning, I opened that and I was freaked out. I was terrified of that thing. I did not like it. I did not play with it. I shoved it in my closet and didn't touch it for a year. And then I think I eventually cut all of its hair off because I wanted it to look as little like Chucky as possible. But then it just made it scarier looking because then it had like the little tufts of hair sticking out of its rubber scalp. So thanks for the gender role reinforcement, Mom and Dad. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. How I got into the horror genre is over the years, I decided I didn't want to be afraid of that stuff anymore. And so I came up with an interesting solution. I pretended that the monsters were my friends. And I remember watching the movie Critters. And if you remember that, it's sort of like Gremlins, except they look more like hedgehogs. They have spines on their backs. And so I pretended that the critters were my minions and that I was in control of them and I could send them out to do my bidding like some sort of evil overlord. And it worked. I became less afraid of them because they were on my side. And so I just started doing that. And that sort of evolved into me creating these imaginary situations in my head. And from that, and also from reading some age-appropriate horror, I developed that interest in writing my own horror stories. And like I got into Goosebumps and then eventually Fear Street, if anybody remembers Fear Street, that's also by R.L. Stine. And then I got older and I was reading like Stephen King, Christopher Pike, Dean Koontz, and I just, I don't know, I just sort of got into it more, and I was watching horror movies and I wasn't as afraid anymore. Playing horror games, although Silent Hill, the video game series, terrifying. Like I remember playing the first one and it kept me up at night, and then like the second one even more so. Not so much now. I still love Silent Hill. The games, I don't. The first three games. After the third game, it gets really kind of like it goes downhill. It's not a good series, and then the movies I think are terrible. Chat moderator. This chat has been flagged and will end in 5 minutes. Some have been reported. Nope. Sorry. That is not true. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but that's not true. I don't currently have any mods. So ignore that, guys. Troll, yeah, troll. Suppose I could block him. Is there a block option? Remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel. Yeah, do that. Okay, there we go. Dolls are creepy. Jeannie B. Dolls are creepy. I had one talking to me late one night from across the room. The thing went by. I love Stephen King books and other horror novels too. Awesome. Jilly B, thank you for reporting him. Yeah, like, be respectful, please. I mean, come on. You know, this isn't Twitch. Damn it, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Oh, I don't care about the peanut butter guy. I will make myself one after this stream. Uh-oh. Connection is unstable. Oh, okay. Nope, never mind. It became stable again. But you don't have to leave. I'm just kindly asking you to be respectful and trolling. But I do like peanut butter and jelly. So, Sarah Scully, I totally agree about Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2, it's by far the best and most terrifying of all those games. I absolutely love it and all of them and want them to come out on iPad. Really? iPad? Don't know how you would play it on iPad, especially with the tank controls. Man, my gaming heyday was PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 2 era. That was late teens, early 20s for me. And I played a lot of horror games that were just amazing. Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Fatal Frame. Fantastic games. But I mean, I loved a lot of different kind of games back then. RPGs like Final Fantasy and what were some other ones that I really liked? Lunar, Silver Star Story Complete, because it was a remake of I think like a Sega CD game. So they remade the game and put it out for PlayStation, and it was fantastic. Plague on Words. Hey, Plague on Words. I remember you too. What is your favorite Final Fantasy? I loved 7, but 8, but 10 is so good. 7 is definitely where I really got into it. I loved 6 though, which was released in America for the Super Nintendo under the name Final Fantasy 3, but it's part 6. There's a whole reason for that I'm not going to get into, but 6 is very good. I absolutely love it. Deep story, huge cast of characters. I love how many different endings you can get depending on, who you get in your party in the game. And there's like side characters you can miss, so that can die permanently if you make the wrong choice. That was great. But 7, I think, was the one that really appealed to me the most. And I loved the remake that came out. Unfortunately, I don't own a PlayStation 4. It came out for 4. So I ended up just watching gameplay videos on YouTube, streamers that would play it. And it's just fantastic. I wish I could play it, but I think they did it justice. It was a really good game. And I loved the voice acting. I was surprised at how much I loved the voice acting. I thought I was going to hate it. The voice actor that does Aerith is amazing. And I watched some streams of her playing the game, and it was kind of adorable. Like she teared up the first time she heard herself speak as Aerith, and it was just like it was so touching. And she just seems like a really sweet, endearing person. Catherine Miller, will you do this live stream again? I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Yes. Not super regularly, but somewhat regularly. We'll see. But yeah, I would like to do this on a semi-regular basis. I think that would be great. Boots and Bags Gal, what causes the cancer cough? So I've got that buildup of fluid in my belly that's coming from the liver. It's one of the symptoms of the liver failing. It's just like secreting fluid into my abdomen. And so my abdomen is kind of stretched, and that's pushing on my diaphragm, which is pushing on my lungs, which is causing me to cough. There's nothing in there. It's a dry cough. I take, I'm going to butcher this, benzonatate. Yeah, benzonatate. And that actually seems to suppress the cough reflex pretty well, as evidenced by the fact that I haven't really been coughing this entire time, which is really good because I would be coughing so hard I'd be dry heaving, and I would lose sleep over that. So it's helped out quite a lot. Straight talking fedora chick. I like that name. You should do more lives if your situation permits. You're very engaging and well spoken. Thank you. And yeah, I would like that. I would like to do this very much. Ronan Cohen, do you like also poetry? I like poetry. Kind of depends on the type and how it's presented. I do better listening to someone recite poetry than I do reading it. And I have written poetry, but I tend to write it like to tell a story. So it's like a story that rhymes. If you want to think of it like a macabre Dr. Seuss, like my poetry tends to be dark, creepy, sort of horror adjacent. But it's like it rhymes. So it's like, I like creepy poetry like that. At the moment, I can't pick out any poets whose work I like. Let's see. Jilly B, I may have missed this, but do you play an instrument? No, I have a violin. I would have loved to learn to play, and it's a shame I never did. Same thing with the guitar. I actually did guitar. I have one. I was starting off using YouTube tutorials, and then I don't know. I just sort of set it aside and never touched it again. I regret not learning to play an instrument. Feels kind of too late. I don't really have room for it right now, so it's going to have to just be one of those things that I don't get around to doing. So it sucks. Christine Herbold, like the Raven. Yeah, actually. Well, okay. Like the Raven, I'm not going to hold myself to Edgar Allan Poe status to his level. I'm not that good. But yeah, telling that kind of a story, a macabre story or a creepy story. You know what? Since that's not going to be included in the contract, maybe that's something I could recite on the channel, is some of my poetry. Yes, I could. Kathy Song, I could learn to play the uke. Like I said, I don't feel like I have time. Pom Mom Lisa, obviously you didn't choose band in school. No, I did not. I kind of wish I had. They did offer the violin. Why didn't I take it? Damn. Did you choose art or theater? Theater, kind of. I got into it, but not enough into it where I was actually on stage. And I think my anxiety, my fear of being on stage, kind of contributed to that. I took drama class in high school and I enjoyed it. It was fun, but it was difficult. And I think one of the reasons it was difficult was that I was surrounded by students who took the class because they thought it would be easy, like an easy grade, and they slacked off a lot. And I think that if I had been surrounded by more serious-minded actors, people who wanted to get into it, I would have gotten into it more. Because I think I'm a pretty good actor. I just never really got into it. So, Luann Wood, do you write any other genres other than horror? Yes, I write young adult stories, comedies. My comedy style is very tongue-in-cheek. It's very, again, I'm not drawing a direct comparison here, but Douglas Adams or Terry Pratchett, if you're familiar with the writing, it's a lot like that. It's that tongue-in-cheek, sort of dry, sarcastic humor. And I have been off and on working on a young adult novel. It's a young adult fantasy comedy, and it uses that style of comedy. Doc Sue, how much are you working? I am working my regular hours, as much as I can, at least. There are days when I just don't feel well enough. Last Wednesday, I was way too sick, way too tired. I couldn't go to work. Some days are better than others, but for the most part, I'm still working. And I plan on doing that up until I can't anymore, and up until I just physically can't. I kind of have to, because if I sure, I would love to quit my job and not, have to worry about it anymore. Although I think I'd get really, really bored. But I have to stick with it because my life insurance policy is through work, and that money is going towards my nephew for his college education. And if I quit my job, I lose that, and he loses out on college, or at least on my contribution to his college education, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna work this job until I can't, and hopefully that means right up until the end. Stephanie Santelman, do you actually see what I'm typing? Yes, I do. Did you say something that I missed? You said hello. Hi. Carol Willingsecker, hi from Paris. Wow, hi. What's your motto? I don't think I have one, or at least I don't have one. I have many. There are many pearls of wisdom that I've picked up over the years that I like to relate to others, things that I think have value. There's what my tattoo says: you will know me by the scars I bear. And what that says to me is, your life is going to scar you. Life is going to leave its scars, and you shouldn't shy away from that. You should not try to avoid. You shouldn't be living a life that avoids that. First of all, because it's unavoidable, and second of all, because it can help you in its own way. And I'm not saying it's a good thing to get hurt. I'm saying that hurt is inevitable, and you can learn from it. And my scars help tell my story, and yours can help tell yours. And I think that's a good thing. We shouldn't try to hide them. We shouldn't cover them up. We should be proud of our scars. I want my scars. I need my scars to help tell the story of who I am, because I've been through a lot, and it matters. I'm trying to think of some other mottos that I live by. I don't know at the moment. Scares are roadmaps of our life. Oh, scars. Christine Herbold. Scars are roadmaps of our life. Yeah, I think you're right. Emery Perez, I suffer with anxiety and panic disorder. How do you deal with anxiety? I don't, at least not well. It's that fight or flight response kind of thing. And sometimes I succumb to flight, which is to just get the hell out of there. And I avoid a lot, which is probably bad. Avoidance isn't solving the problem. It's just, just dealing with it by not dealing with it. And then if I'm forced to pick fight, like if I can't flight, if I'm forced to pick fight, then it's a big struggle for me, where it's like I feel backed into a corner. I get frustrated. I can and have lashed out at others. They think I'm angry with them. I'm not angry with them. I'm just like I'm rattled and I don't know how to respond. And so it's like when I'm fighting my own anxiety, and it can come out seeming like I'm fighting them, and that's not my intention. So don't look to me for advice on how to deal with anxiety. I am a bad example. Joyful Danae, what brings you joy? Good question. A lot of things, and it's simple things. I don't need a lot to bring me joy. It can like I like relaxing in front of my computer, watching something really chill. Nature videos, ASMR. I like watching stuff about animals. I especially love watching rescue stories. Like, this dog was abandoned and these people came in and saved its life and took it in. And, oh God, those make me cry every time. I recently rewatched, because I had watched it some time ago, but I recently rewatched a video about a baby elephant that had been found and raised by humans and was afraid of other elephants until it met another young elephant, a female elephant that was a little bit older than him. And she took him kind of under her proverbial wing and was just so kind and gentle with him and kind of, like helped him overcome that fear of other elephants. And it's like, wow, they really, like, the depth of emotion in these animals. And we think that they don't have it, but they do, and elephants especially. And that story always gets me. I get choked up for that. Plague on Words. I love ASMR. Who are your favorite ASMR artists? Kind of depends. I used to really like ASMR requests. I believe her name is Ellie. She doesn't really do anything anymore, though. I'm very picky about my ASMR. There's some garbage ASMR out there, so it's like, it really sort of depends. My favorite one so far, like currently, is Atmosphere. She puts a lot of work into her videos, and they tell a story, and it's this long, convoluted story, and like you get a sense of pieces of it through each video, and that they all connect, but you're not entirely sure how yet. It feels like she's building towards something. So there's this element of mystery that I really like, and besides, her videos are all very, very relaxing. So I highly recommend Atmosphere. Look her up. She's fantastic. Why do people keep calling me David? It's on the channel name. My name is Daniel, thank you. Don't worry about it. Sarah, the psychology teacher, what do your family and friends think about your YouTube channel? They don't watch it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure most of them don't know it exists. My aunt does, and she has talked about it. She hasn't said one way or another about it, just that she is aware it exists, and she has watched a few videos. I feel mildly uncomfortable with them knowing about it and the idea that they're watching it, which I know is going to sound kind of contradictory, but I just find it easier to talk to strangers about this stuff than well, no, that's not true. I feel very comfortable talking to my family about it. It's that when I make a video, I'm not thinking about the people that are going to watch it. I'm thinking about the things that I'm saying. And so if I get caught up in thinking about who's going to watch it and the fact that they know me personally and are going to personally respond to me about it, then it kind of trips me up a little bit. I get a little anxious about it. I know it might not make any sense to some people, but it makes sense to me. See. I'm sorry if I'm skipping over questions here. I'm seeing a lot of repeats. And I'm also trying to find some people that like I've answered multiple questions from the same person. So I'm trying to like find questions from people that I haven't necessarily responded to yet. So, Piper Pup, Daniel, would you consider getting a PO box so we can send you stuff? No, sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. It feels weird. Like I appreciate the sentiment, I do. I just would rather people not do that. Sarah Num, have you ever gone to Disneyland? My daughter loves Disneyland. She would live there forever if she could, I bet. Yeah, I've been to Disney World a couple of times. Last time I was 16, so a very long time ago. There's a lot of new stuff there that I would love to check out. Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the new Galaxy's Edge Star Wars Land. So, I mean, there's been a lot of changes. I would love to go and experience them, but COVID is a thing. So, Lita Perna, do you meditate, pray, get high? No, to all three of those. I have gotten high, and I did like it, but it's not really a thing I feel like I need to do again. I did it really just to experience it, and I think there's nothing necessarily wrong with experiencing things. I got absolutely baked on pot once in the company of friends who I trusted, and I think that's a big thing, is to make sure that if you are going to do something like that, make sure you do it with people that you trust, who are going to make sure that you don't do anything stupid or harmful. Same with getting drunk, really. Like if everybody's getting drunk, then who's going to stop you from doing something stupid, right? But yeah, I got very high, and it was all right. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it, but I don't feel compelled to do it again. I have dropped acid exactly once in my life. And it was just like, I've never done this before. I want to try it at least once in my life. And again, I was with someone who was, there to make sure that I didn't freak out, that I didn't have a bad trip. They were experienced. They knew what they were doing, so they would be able to help me if I needed it. And they and I had a good time. I didn't I had a pretty mild trip. I did hallucinate. At first, it started as just like noticing patterns, like they seemed more significant than usual, like the knotwork pattern in my cabinet doors, and the knots looked like eyes. And then I started hallucinating eyes, just sort of like looking at me, and I didn't feel threatened by them. I wasn't afraid. It was just like, oh, people are watching me. And I mean, it lasted I want to say like 3-4 hours, and then it wore off, and I was like, cool, I can mark that off the list. I'm done. I don't have to do it again. And I told and there's harder drugs. I will never do heroin. God, no. Those are terrifying, and I discourage anyone from doing those. Those hard drugs are terrifying and potentially very, very harmful. Don't do those. But I also don't necessarily look down on people who seek experiences like that. And as long as you are safe with it, who am I to judge? Stillwater RD2, have you considered another relationship? I mean, at this point, I think maybe not. That's hard to say. if I met someone new, it really depends. But if I met someone that I felt very strongly about, maybe. It feels almost wrong, though, because I have such limited time left. And it feels like it would be almost cruel to get someone attached to me only to take that away. And it's hard enough for me to say goodbye to the people that I love. I know it's going to be even harder for the people I leave behind, because they're the ones that are going to have to pick up where I'm gone. So I don't know. I do like the idea, and I would love to have someone else in my life again. But I just don't know if I could do that to someone. So I don't know. We'll see. UNQ11? Do you have a dying wish? No, not really. I think anything that I would wish for wouldn't be for me. I don't really feel compelled to ask for anything for myself. I would want others to live a better life. And I know it's going to sound like such cliche, but it's that whole be the change you want to see in the world kind of philosophy. And I would want people to do that. And so if you want a dying wish, then there you go. That's my dying wish. Be good people. Be good to each other. Give each other the benefit of the doubt. Even if you don't think that they deserve it, try. Try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Try to realize that everyone is just a person, and they are just trying to make their way in this crazy, stupid world. And you cannot know a person's story by looking at them, and understand that the one time you catch someone being an asshole, it doesn't mean it's indicative of their entire personality. So you catch someone, I don't know, cutting you off in traffic. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. I've cut people off in traffic, and sometimes it's an accident, and sometimes I'm just in a damn hurry, and I for whatever reason, I just don't care that day. And I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying, like everybody has the capacity for good and bad. And I honestly believe that there's no such thing as a good person, and there's no such thing as a bad person. We're not inherently one or the other. And if I can borrow a line from Harry Potter, the world isn't split into Aurors and Death Eaters, heroes and villains. Everybody has good and bad inside of them. And there's just people and the choices we make every day. And I know it's not an easy thing necessarily to change and to resolve yourself to be a better person. As a matter of fact, it's very hard, because it's a choice that you don't just make once. You have to make it every day, sometimes every minute of every day. But if everybody did that, then the world really would be a better place. Don't wait for somebody else to make the world a better place. Everybody has it in them to do that themselves. Everybody has the power to do that. You don't have to wait for a hero or a god or aliens or whatever you're waiting for. Superman. You don't have to wait. You can make it happen now. And if enough people make it happen now, then it would happen. So there's my dying wish. Be good people. Fifi. I remember you saying once that you never wanted to have children. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on your reasons. I just myself well enough to know that I wouldn't be a very good father. Um, not in any like, not in any abusive way. Just I can barely take care of myself. Uh, I would mess it up pretty horribly, I think. And like, I was a preschool teacher for a few years and I really enjoyed that. But the thing I liked most about it was I could give the kids back at the end of the day. I wasn't responsible for their entire well-being. I wasn't responsible for feeding and clothing and housing them. And that was just like, it made it a lot easier to do my job, and to teach them the things I wanted to teach them. I do much better as the kooky uncle. I love being the kooky uncle, the guy that orders from behind your ear, tells you corny jokes, gives you crazy Christmas presents. I really like being that guy. A dad, I just never really seemed like something that I could do. Plus, I think I'm a little bit selfish. I really like having my time to me. And once you have a kid, your entire life seems to become about raising that kid. Your life revolves around them. And that's just not something I want to do. Maria Parker, if you could put the clock back, would you do anything differently? Oh, yeah, definitely. Anybody who says that they have no regrets in life either isn't paying attention or doesn't care. That might seem harsh, but I think it's 100% true. Yeah, I've got regrets. There are plenty of things I would love to do differently. The way I wasn't respectful, I wasn't kind, I wasn't a friend when I could have been. Certain things that I did that I wish I hadn't done. Oh yeah, I got regrets. Lita Perna, guessing you have a BA. What is it in? Actually, I don't have a degree. I never finished college. Time, money, circumstance, it just never seemed like something for me. And I've made my way without it, and it suited me just fine. There were times when I did make a couple of efforts. I did go to college for I was getting a liberal arts degree. I didn't finish. I dropped out. Cost, time. I was trying to work a job and go to college, and I couldn't do both, and so I picked a job instead. So. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm sorry. Tatiana Kosoros. I think it's more selfish to have a child and you are not ready. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. There are so many people out there that absolutely should not have children, or at least not yet. It kind of feels like, shouldn't there be a class? Shouldn't parents have, maybe not mandatory, but it should be open to the public for free? Like, oh, you're thinking about becoming a parent? Come listen to us, and we'll help you determine if it's right for you. Like, it always struck me as so strange that adoption agencies are so very, very picky about who they give a child to, but any idiot can have sex with any other idiot, produce a child, and treat them like crap. So, what's that about? Serena Artista, I heard a cat. Yeah, I've got two cats. They're both actually sleeping right now. So that one and that one right there is Pazuzu. Sorry for the motion sickness if that caused anybody. EMLA format. What is your least favorite question that people ask you? Is there anything people do or say, especially in regards to your illness, that makes you roll your eyes? Yes. As a matter of fact, I want to bring this up really quick because I wrote this. So I'm going to quote myself directly. The thing I hate the most, and this has come from friends and strangers, they will tell me when I talk about my fears about my impending death, they will say, yeah, but you could get killed crossing the street. I hate that so much. So I'm gonna read this. I wrote it and posted it on my Facebook a while back. A word on my cancer. When I talk about my fears or concerns about mortality rates or statistics of survival, and you respond with, yeah, but you could get killed crossing the street, that's really insulting. I understand you're trying to make it seem less than it is, but the result is making me feel less than I am. It belittles and patronizes my experience, as well as the physical and mental fortitude I had to exert to get this far. So please, next time I bring it up, just listen. Don't dismiss, don't project, and please don't tell me it's not as bad as it sounds, because I went through it, and I can tell you, I don't want you to tell me everything is going to be. I want you to be my friends, to stand with me, so I can lean on you when I'm at my lowest, and I just don't have the strength anymore. And when I come through it, it's together with you. And that's so much more than crossing the street. So that's what I have to say about that. It's get what they're trying to do when they say that, but they're inadvertently, they are belittling my situation when they compare it to, oh, it's like, it's not that bad. You could die doing anything. Yeah, I could die doing anything, but I'm this. Don't dismiss that. WD, saying things like that to someone that has those fears is literally dismissing your own feelings. Yeah, absolutely it is. Marge L, if you don't know what to say, just being there, you're absolutely correct. Some people kind of like, they're very unsure of what to say. I remember back when I was telling everybody when I was first diagnosed with cancer, it was interesting to gauge everyone's reaction. And like after a while, it just became this thing that I just, like, by that point, I was like, I had become acclimated to it. The shock had worn off. And so sometimes I would tell people and I would just sort of like accidentally be a little bit too relaxed about it. Oh yeah, I've got cancer. And they would react with shock. And I'd be like a couple of times I actually laughed at their reaction. And I, like, not in a mean way, just sort of like, it took me back. It took me by surprise. And I kind of had to remind myself, oh yeah, this isn't normal for people yet. It's normal for me because I've been living with it, but it's not normal for them. And so it's sort of like I had to adjust. I had to be more careful how I presented the information to people. Like, yeah, I've got cancer, like that kind of thing. But RS, what happened to Maria? Oh, I mentioned that earlier in the stream. So we broke up about a bit over a year ago. We realized that we did not work as a couple. Oof, that was loud. My neighbors, they get a little. They have a little girl, and she can get kind of loud sometimes. So yeah, we don't hate each other or anything. The breakup was actually pretty, like, it was sad, but there was no real animosity there. It was just we realized that we weren't working out and that we just couldn't continue in that way. And we're still friendly with each other. We do still talk on occasion. I believe she's moving out of state soon. She had a job offer, and so she took it. We might stay in contact a bit. She is on the contact list for, you know, for when it happens. And obviously she's invited to the funeral. But, you know, we don't hate each other. We just don't work as a romantic couple. So, Plague on Words, are you still friends? Yeah, I would say that we are still friends. Well, we're still friendly. We don't really keep in contact that much. She has her life, I have mine. It just kind of traveled in different directions. We do on occasion text each other, but not that much anymore. But no, I think it was one of the smoothest breakups I've ever had. You know, she and I, we just sort of kind of mutually came to that conclusion, sat down and very pragmatically realized this isn't really a thing we can do anymore. So we're going to have to stop. Like I said, it was sad, but we, you know, had to move on. Rhonda Adams, how often do you have to see the doctor? Once every couple of weeks or so. I am not scheduled to see the oncologist again until the week after. Let me think. Because I'm currently I'm on a regimen of the capecitabine. I take it for 7 days, and then I have 7 days off, and then 7 days on, and then 7 days off. So I think he's waiting for the end of my next cycle. I'm currently on it. So I think not this week, I mean, not next week, but the week after. And really, it's mostly just to like test, make sure that the levels stay where they're supposed to be or improve. And if not, adjust treatment as necessary. For me to, you know, report any changes in my health. I another paracentesis to drain fluid from my abdomen. That's actually this coming Wednesday. And was there anything else? No, I think that's it. But I'm in mild pain. Mostly it's the stretching in my belly that comes from the fluid buildup. My belly's distended. Like if I relax, it kind of comes out almost like a pregnancy belly. I'm not going to show you. It's embarrassing. But just like, you know, it's like my chest and then, and they've been pulling over 2 liters of fluid out of me every time I go for a paracentesis. And those are happening more often, which is an indication that my liver is failing faster. So that's kind of scary. Kelly Reynolds. Hi, Daniel. I'm new to your channel. Welcome. And have watched several of your videos. You're such an inspiration to many. Thank you. Your attitude is amazing. My mom just got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Oh, God. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That is rough. Yeah. Good luck to her and to you both. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people who either are going through similar situation as mine or know someone who is. And that's, yeah, it's hard. And just, you know, do your best to be there for her and let her know she's not alone. Just stay by her side, you know. Plague on Words. Who ridiculed Daniel? Somebody ridiculed me? I didn't see it. I don't care. People can be jerks. Trust me, I've learned to let back. I don't care. Cherry M, what was the best vacation you ever had? Germany. Well, actually, I don't know if I can say Germany because I remember so little of it. I was 7. But it was the most exciting. It was the first time I'd been in an airplane. First time I'd been in an airplane that long. I went with my sister. I was 7. She was 9. 9. I think 9. My father was stationed in... Sorry, neighbors. My father was stationed. He was Air Force. He was stationed in, I want to say, Stuttgart or maybe Wiesbaden. I don't remember. And he invited us out for 2 weeks in the summer. And so my sister and I flew, just us. Back when you could do that, like back in the 80s, when that was a thing that people could do, send your kids alone on an airplane. Can't do that anymore. But the flight attendants were very helpful, and interestingly enough, the plane had to be grounded due to some engine problem, I think, and we spent the night in Canada. And the airline set us up in a hotel room adjacent to the flight attendants' hotel room, so they could keep an eye on us. Obviously, our family was told, so they knew what was going on. It was weird, like to be in Canada and to be in a hotel and just me and my sister, and we knew no one else. I wasn't really scared. It was just weird. And then the next day we got on a new flight and we continued on to Germany, and we spent 2 weeks there, and I have some memories, and they're good memories. Had a good time. But like another vacation that I can more clearly remember, when I was 16, my mother, my brothers, and we went down to Florida, Orlando, to go to Universal Studios, Epcot, and Disney World. And that was great. My mother's father, my grandfather, has a timeshare in the area, and we were able to use that for a few days. It was a very nice, very comfortable timeshare. And we went to the parks, and we rode the rides, and we saw the attractions, and it was a grand old time. Absolutely loved it. Vicky Lutz, hello Daniel, I have a question. Have you thought about proton therapy instead of chemo or radiation? Proton therapy, I've not heard of that. I feel like if that was on the table, it would have been presented to me, but I will bring it up to my oncologist next time and write this down in my little notebook that I carry with, if I can find a pen. Here we go. Proton therapy. Okay, proton therapy. So when I see him again, I will ask him about that, because that is an interesting idea. Fifi. Are you close to your siblings? Close-ish. Like I said, I moved in with my father when I was 11, and so it was just me and him. So me and my siblings sort of drifted apart. We keep in touch, not so my sister and I. As a matter of fact, we haven't talked in a very long time. I'm not going to get into that. My brothers, they're half brothers because my mom remarried when I was like 5. I have 3 younger half brothers, and we do on occasion talk. Certainly more so now. I've been getting texts and phone calls. Wow. I apologize. I don't know if that's coming through, but to me, it's very loud. It's like a bass drum right over my head. But yeah, we've been in touch more often now than we have been in the past. My nephew, who is getting my life insurance, is my sister's son, And while I don't talk to her or him, I want to, I want to give forward, and since I don't have any kids of my own, I'm going to provide for him. So I have a substantial life insurance policy through my work that is going to go entirely to him. And that will hopefully take a huge chunk out of whatever college tuition he has. If he chooses to go to college, I hope he does. But some people don't. I didn't. And so, like, if he chooses not to go to college, well, maybe he uses that money for something else that's more, more in lines with what he wants to do with his life. But it's up to him. Once he hits 18, it'll be his money. He can do with it whatever he wants. Andrea Dill, how has the pandemic affected your coping with your illness? I mean, it's changed in the sense that I don't get to be around people as often anymore, and that sucks. But it hasn't really changed anything in terms of treatment, and my outlook, like how I respond to my situation. It's just the way things are. It sucks. I would really like to go places, but it is what it is. Viva 39, I remember you too. A lot of names I'm remembering from a while back. Did you ask for a second opinion? Yeah, I've gotten a second opinion. They concur. I don't there's really not anything else anybody can do. So Marge L, what is your favorite memory? Favorite memory? I don't know if I have a favorite memory. What leaps out? Well, I don't know if this is my favorite memory, but the one that I like telling people about the most is my earliest memory, because apparently this is unusual. I remember being in diapers, and it was when we were living in a trailer in Virginia. So I definitely would have been a year or less. And I was still learning to walk. And I reached up onto the table, which at that age, the table was like here. So I reached up like this, so like, I'm like, and I grab towards me, and I ended up knocking pepper shaker onto the floor, and I fell down. I spilled pepper all over myself, and I sneezed like crazy until my mom came over and started brushing it off with me. And I definitely was in diapers. I was still learning to walk, and I remember that. And isn't that crazy that I remember that? And here's the thing. I thought for the longest time, I thought it was completely normal to remember these things. And then I'm telling people this, and they're like, "You remember that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You don't remember being in diapers? So it's very unusual, I guess, for people to remember that far back. But I have pretty clear memories of my infancy. I remember being in a car seat, and I remember that the car seat had these brown plastic cushions that on hot days, my bare thigh, sticking out from my diaper, my bare thigh would sweat and get stuck uncomfortably. And I distinctly remember that uncomfortable feeling of my bare thigh sticking to the side of the car seat. And I remember my mom belting me to it. I remember the little cross thing going across my chest. I remember she would give me Cheerios to chew on. And I remember crumbs of it falling down and then getting in between my legs and the plastic cushions and being extra uncomfortable, that gritty texture. I remember that so clearly. And I guess it's really weird that I remember this, because people have told me that that's not something that people normally remember. Oh yeah, earlier somebody asked me how old I am. I'm 42. I'll be 43 in May. And as it stands, I will not make it to 44. So, Amber Cook, one more thing is Y90 radiation. Not pushing anything on you, just curious if you have heard about it. It's an immunotherapy drug. Actually, I did that. I did 2 rounds of Y90, and it really helped. It shrunk the tumors in my liver considerably. That actually, that gave us the most hope back then, and that was why I was able to have the surgery I did, because it shrunk down enough to an operable size. So it was very helpful. Sarah, the psychology teacher, another 1978 baby. Yes, 1978, the year I was born. Weird year, wasn't it? Obviously, I don't remember it, but I mean, I remember parts of it, but I don't remember. But no, I'm just saying, like, a lot of weird stuff came out of 1978. Wasn't that the Jim Jones thing? The Jonestown mass suicide? That was 1978, right? Lori Wallace, why not do that treatment again? That was why initially I went back to the liver doctor, and he said that my liver has taken enough punishment. There's only so much radiation that the human body can take, and even if you space it out, it would do too much damage. My liver has taken a pounding. What with the radiation treatments, microwave ablations, and the surgery, it's Swiss cheese. And it just, he did not want to try, and he said it would do too much damage. Kadrivatra, Daniel, I'll be 43 in May too. Hey, cool. Awesome. Let's see. Okay, so people are asking about liver transplants again. No. They could put a healthy new liver in me, and it would just get more cancer, and it would be just as aggressive as before. And they are unwilling to put me through surgery again because almost killed me. What should have been a 4 to 6 week recovery. I became septicemic. I almost died. I was in and out of the hospital. It was awful. And so they're just not, they're willing to do that again. DFish56, are you a Taurus of the bull like me? Pretty sure I am a Gemini. I don't believe in astrology, but I'm fairly certain that that's my sign. Jillian Swart, I'm 28 in May. Do you have a favorite birthday memory? I had a really great birthday one year when my dad sprung for a bunch of stuff for me. We rented a video camera. This would have been late 80s or early 90s. I can't remember exactly, but I was young. I was probably, I moved in with him when I was 11, which would have been 89. And this was perhaps a couple of years later. So I was probably about 12, 13, something like that. And this was back when video cameras were really expensive. And so he didn't buy one. He rented one for the day. And we recorded my birthday. And we went to a miniature golf place. We went to, where else did we go? Go-karts. We did go-karts and a video game arcade. And it was like this huge video game arcade we went to. It was called the Family Fun Center. And I was able to play a bunch of the games that I liked. And he recorded it all. I don't know if he still has that tape. Probably not. It's been so long. I wouldn't think that he would still have that tape, but that stands out as like one of my favorite birthday memories. It was a really good birthday. A lot of fun. Fresh Pink 81. How many cats do you have? I have 2. I'll show you again. That's Maja up there. And that's Pazuzu right there. Sorry, there we go. Dottie Girl, hey, Daniel, have you reconsidered doing that talk/interview? It would be great. Or you would be great. Talk/interview. Well, there was the college professor who interviewed me. I did do the interview. And that is for an audio documentary. She also wants me to be a speaker for some sort of convention. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It really sort of depends. I'm leaning towards no, but we'll see. Melissa Joy, you should do a TED Talk. I wouldn't have anything to say that other people haven't said better. Honestly, seriously. Anything that I would have to say on the subject of what I'm going through or my life experiences, I feel like other people have already said it, or and perhaps said it better, or no, I don't really think I have much to contribute to the conversation. So free spirit with nature. Sorry, I tried a few times and my message wouldn't go through. My sister is in stage 4 colon cancer, and she's going to try the fenbendazole. It's giving people energy. It's worth a try. Okay. Not heard of that. I'll look it up. Darush Marush, are you a Saturday Night Live fan? Depends. They're hit and miss. Sometimes I think their sketches kind of fall flat for me. Funny. Other times I think they're hilarious. I like Weekend Update. They tend to lampoon the news pretty well. Very funny stuff. Joyful Danae, are there foods you are restricted from eating? Not really, no. As a matter of fact, I was encouraged to eat whatever I want, because I need to get my weight up, and at this point, it doesn't really matter as much if I eat unhealthy foods. Like they never said don't eat this, don't eat that, and so I'm completely okay with just chowing down on whatever. I don't have that much of an appetite though, but I eat when I can. Plague on Words. What are your favorite YouTube channels? Game Grumps. They're hilarious. They play video games and they talk, and they are just so much fun to listen to. A lot of what I watch on YouTube is video game channels. Gab Smolders. She plays video games. Right now she's playing Stardew Valley, and it's very relaxing. I can just and Stardew Valley is a farming simulator, and it's just like it's a very chill game. CJU, he primarily plays horror games, and that's enjoyable. I used to watch Vsauce a lot, but he doesn't update anymore. That's science. Smarter Every Day is a very good one, also science. Trying to think of what else. Offline TV. That's another gaming channel. There's a channel called Kinda TV. and they produce short series. And I highly recommend their channel. I really liked their Carmilla series, which is about it's a romantic comedy horror. It's about a vampire and a college student, and they fall in love, and it's really good. I highly recommend it. I'm trying to think of what other channels I watch. I'll scroll through my recommendations, and sometimes something random will pop up, and I'll watch that. Daily Dose of Internet. Definitely recommend that one. And there's a fictionalized podcast I listen to called Welcome to Night Vale. And that one's really good. I love that one. Jackie Rogers, has the chemo affected your sense of taste? I haven't had chemo in more than a couple of years. As a matter of fact, I was diagnosed in January of 2017, and that year was when I had 6 months of chemo, and I haven't had chemo since. So at the time, yeah, it definitely did. It affected my sense of taste, my sensitivity to the cold. I couldn't drink anything cold. If I drank water, it had to be room temperature. All of my drinks had to be room temperature. What else? I experienced neuropathy in my fingertips and feet. It went away in my fingertips, thank God, because I type, and if I can't feel my fingertips, then I have a very difficult time typing. But it is permanent in my feet. Neuropathy it's numbness. It's, you know, that pins and needles feeling you get when your foot falls asleep. It's like that, but all the time. And both of my feet have that, and it just sort of like feels like my socks are full of sand. That's permanent. And then of course, like throwing up and just feelings of general sickness and God. And the worst thing about chemo is cumulative. So each session is worse than the one before, and so it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And actually, they stopped with one session left to go, because the last time I had it, my reaction was so bad. They said, "Your body can't take another one. We have to stop." So I was scheduled for 12 sessions. I got 11. Like I said, hardest thing I've ever had to do. Would never wish it on my worst enemy. Chemo is the fucking worst. Mandy Shangalang, favorite vampire movie? Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and Keanu Reeves comes to mind. Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. I liked Flickr. John Carpenter's Vampires with James Woods. Dracula Dead and Loving It with Leslie Nielsen. That's funny. I'm trying to think of more. I like vampire movies. It depends. Underworld's a good one. Some of the sequels are hit and miss, but the first one's fantastic. Oh, Lost Boys. Yeah. That's a good one. Yes. I don't know how I forgot Lost Boys. That's a great vampire movie. Full of 80s cheese, but it's still good. The Lost Boys isn't really old, is it? Laurie Adams? I mean, okay, yeah, it's from the 80s. God, don't make me feel ancient. Jeez. There goes my lights again. What is up with the flickering? Oh, Melissa Joy. I know this will sound odd. I know you don't want us to going to your Facebook. Would you mind if we set our profile picture to you on Facebook, like from a still from your YouTube video? I mean, I guess that's okay. I don't know why you'd want to. It's I don't know, it's a little weird because it's like I recognize that in a very weird way, I have achieved this very small, like, I guess, like, celebrity status for it. But I reckon, like, my channel has almost 7,000 subscribers now. And that's weird, right? Like, 7,000 people that signed up to watch me talk about my cancer. Isn't that weird? I think that's weird. So I guess I don't know how to feel about it. And like so many people knowing my name and knowing what I'm going through and watching my videos, it's just odd. And so the idea that somebody would want to use my image for their Facebook or whatever, I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's just I don't understand why you would want to. It because I don't think of myself in those terms. That's what I mean. I don't think of myself as a celebrity. Again, I don't think that's the right word for it, but just like in my own little sliver of the world, I am well known to a certain number of people. And so it's just kind of weird. I don't know how to think about that. I don't know how to feel about that. So yeah, if you want to, it's fine, I guess. It's just odd. That's all. That's the internet, bro. It says J Spear 1982. Yeah, that is the internet, isn't it? Isn't that weird? That anybody can get online and say anything and do anything, and people will just pay attention, and you never know who's going to do that. And you might not think that that there would be an audience for it, but there is. Isn't there some kid who has like millions of followers, millions of subscribers, and all he does is open toys? Like he opens the box and he plays with the toys, and he started when he was like 5, and he has like millions of subscribers. Isn't that weird? There's apparently an audience for that. Humans are weird, man. We are a weird species. 386 of us watching now, says C. Chask. Yeah, you're right. Don't make me don't give me anxiety over that. I haven't been paying attention to the view count. Now I feel weird. He is a millionaire. I assume you're talking about the kid that opens toys. Yeah. Right? Weird, right? So I'm just, again, I'm looking through the different questions. I'm looking for stuff that isn't repeats. Johnny Walker, opinion on euthanasia. I'm not there yet, man. Don't bury me before I'm dead. No, I'm kidding. It really depends on the situation. I think it's a personal choice, and there's worse things than death. And one of those things is living in a situation, feeling trapped by it and feeling nothing but suffering all day long. And I understand, especially at this point in my life, I understand that desire to just make it stop. I'm not there yet, but I am aware that it could get to that point. Would I choose that? I don't know. I don't think anybody can know. You might think you know, but I don't think you really do. I don't. And there's a part of me that fights very hard to stay alive, because I want to stay alive. I want to stay in this world for as long as I possibly can. I want to be a part of it all. I want to see where it all goes, you know? I want to see what happens next. I like discovering the future with everyone else. And so I don't want to die. I certainly don't want to die like sooner rather than later, but I could also be put in a situation where I just want it to stop. And I think it's completely understandable to pick that option. So I think that euthanasia as a choice is acceptable. Mandy, we get to read your stories. Okay, so I have a slew of short horror stories that I've written. I have had one of them published in a book. I put a link to the Amazon page for that book in my previous video. It's called A Sharp Stick in the Eye, and it is horror comedies. It's a collection of horror comedies. It's not my book, but my one story is in that book with other short stories. They're all very good, by the way. I recommend that book, not just for my story, but for everybody's stories. They're all very funny. And also like creepy. Like it's that darkly comedic, macabre humor. It's the only short story that I've had published, unfortunately. But so the deal that I made with someone that I made friends with online, they are, I can't name names and I can't be specific. They are very important in a company that produces short horror stories as audio podcasts. I can't say which one yet because the contract's not signed and they haven't made any announcements. So, but the deal is, once I sign that contract, I give all of my stories to them. They will pick out the stories that they want to produce as episodes. Any money that they would give me for that story is made as a donation to the American Cancer Society. And they'll spread these out over probably several seasons of their show. I will unfortunately not be around to hear all of them, but they are currently working on their next batch of stories, and I was told that at least one of my stories, and I already picked out which one I would prefer, so they said they would try to make sure that that's the one that gets on the show. They'll make sure that one of my stories is one of the first produced. So I will at least get to hear that one. And when that happens, once the contract is signed, once the story is online, once certain announcements have been made by, that podcast, then I can tell you more. But as it stands, I can't read any of my short stories on my channel because part of the contract is they would retain sole rights to audio reproduction of my work, which means no other audio production of my work can exist, which includes YouTube videos. So I can't read them on my channel. But the good news is my stories will live on in this format for everyone to hear. And they're also going to publish my short stories in a book. It will be all of my stories in a book. And that will be available for print and ebook. And again, all proceeds from that go to the American Cancer Society. So this works out for everyone. I really very excited about this. I'm very happy that this is possible. My stories will live even after I'm gone, and people will get to hear them and read them and enjoy them. And also, I feel like I'm giving back. I'm helping the next generation of cancer patients with my contributions. So I feel really good about it. And by the way, this is actually live stream's going on a bit longer than I had intended, so I'm probably going to wrap it up soonish. But let's go for another 10 minutes. Just don't want to tie up the day too much, and I do have other things I need to get to. WD, Daniel, I work with special needs, and I know how change affects people. Have you started preparing your clients for the change of what you're going through and what will come? No. The people I work with are very low functioning. They wouldn't understand. They like mentally, they're too low functioning to understand the situation. I did work with higher functioning people. I have not told them I'm not going to. I love them very much. I just don't want to put them through that. And certainly they will be informed upon my death, but I don't want to worry them because they are the type of people that would worry. Like, they're high functioning enough to understand, but low functioning enough that I think it would really like do psychological harm to them, and I don't want to do that. People are calling me pretty. I like that. I don't fish for compliments, but I like it. I appreciate it. What else? Galumpa22, how did you get into your work? I think it's very noble. Thank you. Kind of by accident. A while back, I had lost my job and was scrambling for a new one. And this goes like a long time. And the job I ended up getting was an assisted living facility for the elderly. I was basically an orderly. And this would have been like, I was in my late 20s. And I didn't like it. I was kind of disgusted by it. And it's embarrassing to say, but that's just how I was back then. It was a lot of gross work. You know, you're working with the elderly, and the elderly at that stage in their life, they lose control of certain functions. And so I'm like, I obviously got better at how I looked at it. You know, my opinion on it changed, my outlook changed. But at the time, I didn't like it. And I just didn't like being around people who were slowly dying. And while I was there, one of the residents passed away. And so I quit my job because I just didn't want to be around it anymore. Then I became a preschool teacher. And it's kind of funny because it's like the pendulum swung entirely the opposite direction. Working with the elderly, working with children. I really liked that. I really enjoyed it. And I loved being a teacher and coming up with fun projects for the kids to do and lesson plans. And I was a TA. I was helping like, I wasn't a teacher. But I was assisting the head teacher, and we would come up with lesson plans together. And I did a lot of science stuff with the kids, very simple science stuff. And I really enjoyed that. And then I didn't lose that job. I quit that job because I moved. And then I was doing a bunch of different stuff, bounced around from job to job. And then I was laid off from the job that I had. And at that time, I knew someone who worked for a school for the disabled. And they were like, well, you should come work for us. And I was like, all right, how hard could this be? Ha ha. I did not realize how challenging this job would be until I got into it. Very challenging, because these were teenagers who they had a lot of mental disabilities, not physical ones. And they could be very aggressive, and that was very difficult, and it was hard for me. I did it for 4 years. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I definitely got kind of burnt out on it. And so I quit, and I moved again. And then I tried preschool teaching again because I really enjoyed that. And I did that for another year. And I did a lot of the same stuff I did before. And they actually put me in charge of the after school program, where the kindergartners who got out of school at like 2:00, but they couldn't go home because parents were home. So they came to us. And so I would take them into a classroom, and we would do things like backyard science, you know, like Mentos and Diet Coke, and like fountains up, and they loved that. But them why it happens. And so, you know, we would talk about the science of it, and we would make like we'd make rockets out of balloons and the long thin balloons, and we would tape straws to the back and then run a thread from one end of the room to the other. So you inflate the balloon and then you let go and it shoots across the room following that thread. And from that, I got into discussion about propulsion. And what I loved is they got it. They understood, you know. We did a week on animation, and I taught them how to make a flip book. You know, we did a week on what was another one? The same week that we did propulsion, because I started with the balloons. Eventually, we made hovercrafts, and the way you do that is you take a blank CD, and then over the hole you glue a pop top for like a water bottle, and then a balloon goes over that. And so you inflate the balloon, you put it over the closed pop top, you put that on the table, and then you lift the pop top up, and the air from the balloon squeezes out, pushes through that hole in the CD, which lifts the CD up on a tiny little cushion of air, and you can slide it across the table like a air hockey puck. And they got it. They understood the principle behind it. And what I really loved was when the parents came to pick them up, they were explaining it to their parents. And the parents were always very impressed by this. Like, oh my God, I never knew that my kid could get this kind of stuff. They would understand that. And I think that that's an important lesson to learn, is that people will underestimate children of that age and think that, oh, we can't teach them this. They couldn't possibly understand it. The director of the school would sit me down and be like, Daniel, your lesson plan, you have all of these things. I don't think they're going to understand them. And I'm like, I bet they will. And they did. And she never stopped disbelieving me. Like, how many times have I proven you wrong? And you're still calling me in here to challenge my lesson plan? I stopped because I made absolutely no pay. Like, I made pathetic pay. And the director and I just never saw eye to eye on things. And so I quit. And the agency I was working for was hiring. A friend of mine worked for them. And they said, come work for this agency. And I have been working for them ever since. And it's been about 5.5 years. And I really love working with those people. And I determined pretty quickly that is where I'm, you know, that was the field that I was going to work in for the rest of my life. So just a second. There we go. Another troll. Why do people do that? Why do people troll? That's really annoying. Sarah, the psychology teacher, do you play Cards Against Humanity? Random, I know, but you so remind me of my best friend's husband who had me howling with laughter when we play. Your humor style would fit in by the sound of it. Yeah, I've played. And it's a very funny game, but it kind of wears out after a while. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, ha ha ha, that's funny. And then the next time you play, it's like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And then the next time you play, it's like, yeah, that's funny. And then you just like, let's do something else now. Carol Rotherson, I am a kindergarten teacher. Hey, awesome. I can totally relate. STEM challenges are awesome. Any other career you've ever wanted to try? I would have loved to have been a marine biologist at one time. There was a time when I was seriously looking, into becoming a full teacher. When I had the idea that I was going to get a college degree, my intent was to get a teaching degree. And initially, my plan was I was going to teach English in Japan for a few years. For that, you needed to join the JET program, the Japanese English Teaching Program. You had to have a bachelor degree. It could be in anything, but you needed a 4-year degree. So I figured, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well get a teaching degree. And that way, when I come back to the States, I have teaching experience behind me, and I have a teaching degree. And so I can just start immediately. I started off with a liberal arts degree, and it just didn't work out. I didn't finish college. What the hell is wrong with people? Come on. Can we please stop? Why are people like that? All right, well, anyway. Maybe this is a hint that it's time to stop. Same for all different accounts? Probably. Yeah. When does that get fun? I'll never wrap my head around that. But you know what? The best way to deal with it is to not even talk about them. So let's move on. But yeah, so teaching. Yeah, I wanted to do that. In retrospect, I think I made the right choice in not pursuing that. It is a labor of love, and I'm pretty sure I would not have loved it enough. My experience doing preschool was enough to let me know that, like, I just couldn't stick with it. And while I definitely would have loved to have gone to Japan and taught in Japan, I don't think I would have wanted to turn it into a full career. But I am going to end it here. We've been going for almost about 3 hours. I do have other things I need to get done. Poor kitties need me to go buy them some more food and litter, and there's other stuff I wanted to do today. But yeah, this was fun. This is fantastic. I really enjoyed doing this. I definitely want to do this again. I'm not sure when, but I'll keep you informed so that you guys know. I will do Emma 199. Will you do another? Yes, definitely going to do another one. But yeah, I think that's enough for now. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and I look forward to doing this again in the future. TTFN. Yep, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. So until next time, everybody, take care.